Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Talk More Wrestling podcast, the podcast where we review pretty much anything that we want, and this week obviously it's Extreme Rules. My name is Turbo Tony. We're here with Matt Marsander. I don't give you any illustrious intros on our Let's Talk More Wrestling.
I'm not the voluptuous one this
time. Not
the
voluptuous one as you were on the weekend. If you haven't caught any of these Let's Talk More Wrestling podcasts, this is a lot more laid back than the actual podcast that we do on the weekend, the official one, shall we say.
That's true. Yeah.
Even though this is official, unofficial, even though we're still doing it, which makes it seem weird.
Less official sort of thing.
Less business, more laid back. So you can expect a little bit more. We're letting our collars down over this next hour of podcast, or around about that time. We are reviewing Extreme Rules that aired, well, for myself, less than 10 hours ago. So still freshly embedded in our minds. We like to do this the day after it airs, and obviously because we're over in Europe, we have to finish watching at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So myself,
so you get all these people just like fresh off the bat, like literally just like, turn the TV off, turn the computer on, and start recording. We're just like, I'm going to bed.
I go to bed. Yeah. Good for you guys. For anyone who's got a podcast in America that can do that, we can't. There's no way I'm staying up until like 6 o'clock in the morning trying to render stuff that we recorded straight off. No, sorry, not doing that.
If you could get an hour and a half podcast of snoring, that's pretty much what to expect.
We like to try and be at least a little bit entertaining, and we need some semblance of sleep, damn it, to be able to do that. So yeah, as we said, Extreme Rules last night. The first pay-per-view of Daniel Bryan's title reign, obviously the big ending of the storyline, that was at WrestleMania. We're going to go through each of the matches here, give our thoughts on the matches, and give our overall view on the pay-per-view as a whole. So first off, we may as well get right into it, waste no more time. The pre-show,
yes,
which was a debate of quite intense conversation over the still wrestling. The WeLC match, Hornswoggle against El Torito. Me and Matt obviously missed this because the network doesn't launch here in England and Ireland, respectively.
I don't feel bad because I missed it.
They showed some of the spots of this match during the actual pay-per-view, so we did actually see some bits of it. And it looks like one of the things that we said on the podcast over the weekend is that, Hornswoggle versus El Torito could actually be a good match. These guys are fairly competent wrestlers. El Torito even more so.
Yeah, but Hornswoggle's been around long enough, so pretty sure have picked up a thing or two.
Yeah, exactly. So they could pull off a good match. But the thing is, WWE it was never their intention for them to actually go out. They wanted to point the finger at these guys and laugh, which made it quite...
Look, laugh at the little people. Don't forget, kids, be a star.
I thought it was a bit awkward that they had they announced during the show that they were the WWE partnering for the Special Olympics, and yet they were making fun of midgets wrestling in the ring. So
and the fact that they even had like the midget announce team and everything.
Yeah. They went all out. They wanted if they want this to be a joke, they wanted this to be a grand old joke, and they were laughing their heads off, I imagine, regarding to this. So
they enjoyed it.
Yeah, obviously they loved it. They pat themselves on the back. Me and Matt are like, glad we missed it. Not really much point. For anyone that cares, we got our prediction correct. El Torito did come out the winner.
Yeah.
Not that it matters really, to be honest.
The tag team title match got dropped for that.
Imagine you could have seen the Usos on the pre-match show, of which they've had pre-match against the Shield once and tore the house down. So that kind of shows you what you're possibly missing out on there. Some people may say we're being a little bit too, come on, just treat it like it's a bit of fun. No, I think we're a bit too old for that now. We're above the age of 16. We don't find that shit funny, to be honest.
That's it.
So first match of the actual show of the night was the triple threat match, RVD against Swagger and Cesaro. We got our prediction wrong for this event. We said that RVD would be getting the victory. I feel a bit gypped. I feel like WWE have spanked us out of the prediction here because I was fully under the consideration that this was a regular triple threat match, but apparently out of nowhere, to the commentators.
That's what I thought. So the whole thing just completely died off. Suddenly they're just like, Swagger's been eliminated. What? I didn't understand that.
It did seem for a little while that even the commentators didn't even know that this was that they were kind of like a little bit bemused at the There was like a good 5 seconds of everyone looking around at each other and wondering what was going on, and suddenly, Justin Roberts gets up and tells us that Swagger was eliminated from the match, and you're like, okay, a bit odd.
Like, hang on, this was an elimination tag team match?
And the thing is, the reason why I say that we're a bit gypped on this, me and Matt were in agreement with this as the match went on. As soon as Swagger was eliminated, we found it was an elimination match, we knew Cesaro would win. There was no way Cesaro was going to lose it by being pinned. The way that we thought RVD was going to win was by pinning Swagger, and that's how Cesaro would lose, and that could maybe build up towards Cesaro and a RVD feud going, well, you didn't pin me, you didn't show me that you're better than me. And they go on and have singles feud, which I think they will have after this match regardless. So Cesaro got the win.
That's
at
it.
the end of this match. A pretty decent enough match, would you say, Matt?
I'd say so. I mean, the crowd were dead.
They were a bit dead at the start of this, wasn't it? It wasn't really...
To get started, but I don't know, there was some good little setups. Like, you had, like, Swagger's little, just dropping RVD on his face for his Patriot lock.
Yeah.
But even the, Cesaro's, deadlift superplex, and then it's just like, oh, Swagger's down. Hang on a second. Bam! 5-star out of nowhere. And that was really nice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought that's probably how RVD would have stole the match, by doing something like that. With something along those lines. So some good spots here, and Cesaro obviously looked amazing throughout the entirety of this match, and obviously, got the win at the end.
And as much as RVD's over as a face, you stop the swing, you're going to get booed.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the biggest face. Daniel Bryan could stop the swing and get booed. That's the way it goes. But yeah, at least we did get to see the swing for at least a little while. The King of Swing, which they've dropped now when he came out. Now Paul Heyman was calling him the King of Extreme, probably just for this event anyway. But
that's it.
Maybe the King of Swing was a little bit too provocative, shall we say?
Yeah. I mean, what a shock! Paul Heyman couldn't keep his word.
Yeah.
So of course we had to listen to my client, Brock Lesnar. It's like, oh, come on.
Which he promised not to. So
it's Paul Heyman.
It's Paul Heyman. We
Face value.
So I think the match was okay. It wasn't like a really fiery opener to the show, and so the crowd kind of struggled to get into it. But some of the pops here were pretty good, especially as you said, the deadlift into the 5-star was probably the best bit of the match, to be honest.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I can't think of much else for that.
Not too bad. I do expect Cesaro and RVD to be feuding from here on out, and I probably think they'll probably end up doing something with Swagger now. You can't really have Swagger rival with Cesaro more anymore, because I think they're done now. It's just kind of dragging on a little bit. But you can have RVD against Cesaro, and you can have the whole the whole Paul Heyman connection. That's why they go on from there.
Oh, that's it.
And we're getting past the point now where we will get into a point where Heyman was actually damaging Cesaro, and I think they kind of gotten out of that now. I think it's fine. It's not. It could still go that way if they continue to blow Brock Lesnar's trumpet while he's not there, but we'll see how it goes from there on out. We both got that prediction wrong, but like I said, I feel gypped. We didn't know it was elimination, so.
Well, that was it. I mean, it's been quite odd with this pay-per-view, because it was just like, it's a triple threat elimination. Okay. Well, that completely changes everything.
Yeah.
And then sort of it's like when we were making the predictions, there was no mention on Raw or anything like that the WWE World Heavyweight Title match would be contested under Extreme Rules. And it's just like,
it was only on the website that we actually realised that was the case.
That's it. I say that completely changes everything, but that's not true.
No. We know the result anyway. It doesn't matter what match stipulation you put in the title match. But we'll get to that as it goes along anyway.
Yeah.
So the second match anyway, which I've got on the list. I just did this on the list of our predictions. This isn't ideally how the show actually went, although maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Woods and R-Truth went against Alexander Rusev.
That's it, the handicap squash match.
That's it. Before Rusev came out, Lana said that she had an icon, her person that she strives to be like, and it was the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, which is probably the ultimate heel if you ever want to try and...
Well, that's it. But especially in America, or with just what's going on. But there's only one problem, though, is the fact that WWE just kind of tried to go, political in a PG world.
Yeah.
It's like most kids watching WWE have no idea who Putin is. So it's just guess... Vladimir Putin is terrible man. And it's just I have no idea who he is.
Lana has a funny accent, so the kids are gonna hate her because she comes from a different country. I guess that's what they're going
Different.
for.
Yeah.
So,
However, she's definitely won over. Like I know she's won over for you because you'll see you could just watch Lana do cut a promo for an hour, and
I
you're
could
not
I could watch
alone
Lana
in
for
it.
an hour, definitely.
That's it. You're not alone in it
Yeah,
now.
there's a
It's sort of like when I was watching it last night, all I had to sort of sit through was just others just talking about Lana. I was just like, fair enough.
Well, the thing about this match is that we knew it was going to be a squash match. We knew that going through, and
There was quite a bit more offense from Truth than I was expecting. To be fair,
yeah, but there was exactly the amount of offense from Woods that we were expecting. Also,
yeah,
he got annihilated before
like
the
a big
match.
fat nothing.
And literally, he got annihilated. He never actually really got into the match at all. So when the match started, it was just Truth
That's it. By the time
Rusev.
by the time it kicked off, it was a singles match.
That's it. But the amount of times, I mean, Woods was coming to the ring with a serious face on, wasn't he? He looked
like proper game face going on. Yeah.
If that's his game face, I hate to think. What else can he go to? What level can he get to? But yeah, he's been beaten up so many times by Rusev. I'm starting to think he gets sexual pleasure from it at this point.
Like it's what he craves.
Rusev asphyxiation, maybe that's probably what he likes. So
well, with the accolade, it could be.
Exactly. So yeah, as we knew, this was just another. They're going to do the monster push with this guy. After this, they're going to have more people go against him, and he's going to beat them. This is going to happen for a couple of months. So get used to this. What I actually do think with Rusev, that may play into the Shield breaking up, is that I can see Rusev becoming the United States champion, which will build into him being the enemy of the US and all this lot, and being a proud, Russian, all this lot, and that what a way to get a heel over than having the US belt.
We did that, but they did that all with Cesaro when he was the United States champion. It's like, I'm the greatest United States champion, and guess what? I'm not even American.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit too soon to go recycling.
You say too soon. I mean, it's been like a year since like Ambrose actually won the belt.
Yeah,
and he won her.
I think it's too soon to go sort of like essentially with a recycled story.
I think stuff like that always is going to work. It's like face versus heel. You have an enemy of an American show coming in as a different nationality. I think that just works. And it seems to be what they're going for, because they're bringing up all this stuff about them being Russian and them, all this lot. So that's the reason I say that, it's just an easy way for him to get over and they throw loads of these American guys against him to try and take the belt off him and destroying them. But regardless what they're going to do, he's going to get booked as a monster until they run out of things to do with him and then possibly give him the Ryback treatment. We don't know yet how they go with this.
Hopefully the good Ryback treatment.
Yeah, they haven't booked a monster heel very well in a very long time, so we'll have to bear in mind how this goes.
That's it. Watch it closely.
That's it. Paige against Tamina Snuka. This is actually the buffer match before the main event, but it's just how we got the predictions going. And
okay, you're doing it in that order rather than in prediction. Okay.
Yeah. This is the way.
Oh, you do prediction order, not actual play order.
Yeah. Because that's how I do my notes, man. That's how it's just how I do things here. Okay.
It's just completely thrown me off. I'm just like Paige, no, that wasn't the match next.
Oh dear. Well, if I had maybe had an extra hour's sleep, I had more clarity, I would have put this in the right order. But okay. I'm the play-by-play, and you've got to go with me, man. That's the way it goes.
I'll work with you.
So, this match went exactly how we thought it would go. This match was made to be like the final exclamation point on having Paige as a legitimate competitor. And this match played out exactly as we thought it would. It wasn't bad. It was and it had a lot of time behind this match as well in comparison to normal Divas matches. So that's one thing that Paige has had over a lot of, girls around her, that she's actually had a lot more time in the ring than the majority of them do.
Yeah.
So that's
she's
good.
She's been allowed that time to actually make do with it. And what I was expecting, it's not like I was expecting one of the great Divas matches, but it was a good Divas match regardless.
Yeah.
Especially in sort of the current climate of Divas matches.
Yeah. Well, with what we've been given recently, I'll take this. That's fine. It was a good match. It was worth watching.
That's it.
I mean, at the end of the day, Paige matches since she's debuted on the main roster have been very watchable. So that's a good thing, going forward, that she can go for all that. And we know that she gets stuff done in the ring. I just think they've completed their task of educating the crowd that Paige is a legitimate competitor. I mean, she came in, got the shock win, and they've had to do this month build-up of making people know that she isn't this flash in the pan. I
That's
think now
it.
she can go forward and start
Well, as
going
much as
against other
they've
people.
been mentioning that term sort of ever since, it's like she's just a flash in the pan champ sort of thing. It's like no, she's here today.
We knew that anyway.
Oh yeah,
So
there's no denying that. Especially it's just like it's good.
yeah,
Like I approve of the fact that we have another Brit on the roster that I can get behind.
we have 2 British champions,
Do
which I think leads into our next match I have on my list quite well, as we do
yep.
love our mid-match segues between what we're talking about. So, from one Brit champion to a new British champion on the roster, Big E lost the belt to Bad News Barrett on this event. Good match as well. This one.
It was a good quality match. Yeah.
Yeah, good quality match. It wasn't fantastic. I don't think it was as good as the first 2 matches that Barrett had in his tournament.
No, but the thing is, I quite like it when Big E, like with Big E, when he sort of just comes back out of nowhere, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like he spent weeks just like and he's been watching the whole thing as it sort of happens and all that, and it's like, you know what, I quite like this.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
I disagree. I think that the way they've booked Big E leading up to this is so weak in comparison to Bad News Barrett. I don't know why I thought that he might retain. Like if you put the matches that
you fool.
Barrett's had in comparison to Big E hasn't even had matches. So there you go. That's pretty much
That's
what it
it.
is. He's had a few odd matches like on SmackDown, but he's been barely seen on Raw over the entire time, apart from seductively looking into a TV screen.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when you think about that, it would have been pointless really to have Barrett not win here after the rise that he's been having. But in all fairness to Big E, we're obviously saying a lot. I'm saying a lot of negative stuff about him. Him actually losing the best is probably the belt is probably the best thing for him at his current state. Big E.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think that losing that IC title sometimes could be poison. There's a few belts that and a few accolades that WWE have that I wouldn't if I was there and I was a talent I wouldn't want. One of them being the King of the Ring. I would not want to be King of the Ring. They're like the amount of times they've booked the King of the Ring winner into oblivion.
Oh yeah.
It's a miracle that Sheamus is still around.
That was it. Just King Sheamus or King Booker as well.
Yeah. And then I think the IC title sometimes can be poison as well. The World Heavyweight Championship sometimes was poison as well. That you get it and then you just lose constantly week in, week out. They don't like booking anything apart from their WWE champion as strong. They like them to lose and have the shock win at the pay-per-views at the actual defenses, which I don't agree with personally. So yeah, him going away from this, maybe he can start winning some matches and actually being on matches on Raw, because as champion he wasn't. So
that's it. Well, it seems to be their mid-card title idea, considering it's like, Ambrose, renowned defender of his belt.
Yeah, which he did do last week on SmackDown, but I completely agree with you. He doesn't. He could probably count on both his hands the amount of times he's defended that title over the year he's held it for.
That's it.
So. And I think it's exactly a year at Extreme Rules that he actually won the belt. So there you go. That's kind of the telling point.
It was Extreme Rules, yeah.
Yeah. So this, yeah, as I said with this match, so Barrett's the new champion. I always say it's going to be interesting to see how they book it, but they've booked so many IC champions as weak over the last, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably even 10 years. They if you think that the IC Championship was like one of the staples of WrestleMania, and they went through like a 7-year gap of the IC title not being defended at WrestleMania, kind of shows you that the kind of respect that they show to the title now. But as you said, and you make this statement to me quite regularly, that with the World Heavyweight belt gone, there is a spot there for the IC title maybe to fill. It just matters if WWE want it to be that way. So
that's it. I mean, I just hope that they've pushed Barrett, and like the crowd were behind Barrett during the event. I mean, even if they were still quite a quiet crowd, there was still a lot of the cheers were towards Barrett.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And he does get a lot of fan reaction when he comes out there now, which is always going to be good, no matter if you're face or heel. Yeah, that's Now he acts quite face at the end of his matches, which I think is a bit odd for a heel, because he tries to get the fan chanting his name, which is a real face thing to do.
Yeah,
but
they managed it.
If he hopefully he just hasn't been given this belt and the IC title doesn't act like poison to him, which it has done to even to Big E. When he got given that belt, he was on a rise. As soon as he got the belt, nowhere to be seen. Losing matches all the time. Let's hope that it doesn't happen the same again.
Yeah.
But we might be holding out. I'm not holding my breath out on that either.
That
Your
was
prediction
sick.
was right for that, Matt. I got that one wrong.
Yeah, it was.
For the reference anyway, we were actually even on this event
We were, yes.
on predictions. You got one wrong. We both got two wrong, but you know what I mean. We both got one right that the other one didn't.
Yeah.
Leading into the next match was Cena versus Wyatt in a steel cage. I did not like this match, not for the quality of the match, for the way that it was booked. I think you're under the same sort of thought of this, aren't you? That
What do you mean, the weak Wyatts?
they came off looking immensely weak throughout the entirety of this match. It looked like Cena was not even breaking a sweat break at the, beating these guys around the ring, flipping Luke Harper from the outside into the cage, beating up Bray Wyatt, always constantly getting on it. The amount of failed attempts that John Cena had to get outside, if it wasn't for the Wyatts, it made Bray Wyatt look like a absolute puss, really, in the middle of the cage, not even able to deal with John Cena. So I didn't like that. Considering they've got to make sure that the Wyatts get booked right from a competitive standpoint, which they have done until he's gone against John Cena, which happens to a lot of people, unfortunately. Would you agree?
Oh, that's it. But it's as you said, it sort of always happens when Cena's involved. Like you've got to pull something out.
He was in full Super Cena mode, and
that he was.
It was ironic that one of his kids was the reasons why he lost the match, with the deep voice, which I didn't think they needed to do. I think that a kid doing that song in a robe, looking into him, is just as scary as you trying to make it more scary. You try and make it more scary
without just sticking the stupid voice effect over the top.
Yeah, that to me, I thought that was a bit crap.
But no.
So the only thing that reminded me of, funny enough, which I guess isn't really what they're trying to do, is when the DX made their return, they kept changing the pitch on Vince McMahon's microphone. So I don't think they need to do that. I mean, they did it later on in the night as well during a promo between Wyatt and little what do they call it? What was his name? I don't know.
Daniel or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say little Jimmy, but I thought that
Johnny.
Johnny, there you go.
I remember the trending worldwide, and I was like, R-Truth didn't even mention. Now
that kid needs to go and start his own Twitter page as Little Johnny, and there you go. You got it made. You've got lots of followers. There you go. So yeah, after that, after the kid scares him, then he gets Sister Abigail'd, and then Wyatt comes out of the ring. But Wyatt did not come out looking strong after this match. I can guarantee you. They came out looking as if
they got saved by a 12-year-old.
It came out looking as if they were scrambling to stay in the match, all three of them, and Cena was every single time. It wasn't booked as if Cena was constantly barely surviving. You know what I mean? Which is the way you should have done it with all these three guys getting involved. It seemed like the Wyatts were barely surviving, and I don't agree with that personally. Maybe they're getting the Nexus treatment where Cena just decided, I don't need anyone else. I'll just obliterate the Nexus on my own.
I don't like this.
Yeah. So that's the reason why I disliked the match. The quality of the match and some of the moves and some of the spots were pretty good, but because of the way that the match goes, it just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Personally, I think it was booked really badly, and I don't expect that the Cena Wyatt rivalry has ended yet. I think they'll probably have one more match, and then they'll move on to other stuff.
That would just be that one sort of just like, well, it's one apiece, decider.
Yeah, they'll probably end up doing that. Which makes it seem, because I mean, Steel Cage, for me, back in the day, it was the deciding match, where these two would have a bloodbath. But then they made the Hell in a Cell, then they dumbed down the Hell in a Cell, and it's
like
everything's kind of in limbo now, Because when a gimmick gets used too much, it doesn't have that same sort of feeling.
Yeah, sort of missing something.
Yeah. So we go to, I know we did our predictions the other way around, but I'll flip them around for you, Matt, so that way you've got your notes in the right way. Evolution against the Shield.
Match of the night,
which is a staple that follows the Shield around quite a lot. They get a lot of match of the nights from us and a lot of people. They were brilliant, and so Evolution, for their credit, they played the bad guys tremendously.
Oh, that's it. I mean, even before it just got crazy and it was just like simple, just brawling in the ring, it was great.
It was a clinic on how it's like almost like the ideal textbook on how you should run a face versus heel faction 3-on-3 match.
Yeah.
It was amazing. When me and Matt were enjoying the match, and there was messages going backwards and forwards, and we said that when this eventually does kick up another gear, it's gonna go mad, it's gonna go mental, and it did in typical Shield form.
Oh, that's it.
There's no better stable in wrestling that when the match kicks up, and all hell breaks loose, makes better of the situation than the Shield. They really do dazzle when it comes to that
When
moment.
it all goes a bit crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the moments like, oh, they're off into the crowd. This is going to get good.
Which is good on Extreme Rules, you know.
Crowd.
You do expect it to get a little bit extreme, and it was
That's it.
in this match, which was good. The basic station of this match was Evolution, where battling with the Shield on the outside. So you had Triple H and Randy Orton fighting Rollins and Ambrose on the outside, which led to a monster spot where Rollins decided that he's going to take over the Jeff Hardy role, which was left over from when he left, and do these crazy jumps on the outside of the ring.
That's it.
And it was quite an awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
it was just especially out of nowhere. But the thing is, we did find Dean Ambrose's #1 fan in the crowd. Did you not hear her screaming? Like,
yeah.
No, Dean, no.
It's what the Titty Master has over all these women.
That's it.
That's it.
Bow before Titty Master.
Yeah, exactly. He drives them mad. You know, they should have just security men around him when he gets out there. You know, because there's a lot of titties to master from the Titty Master.
That's it.
Yeah, so that was awesome, that spot, which obviously led to Reigns and Batista still in the ring, and they were obviously
that gave Batista enough time to catch his breath.
Yeah.
Especially considering, I don't even know why they were just like, they kept like just showing, oh, and this is the ring, they're still down, and there's Reigns just like, come on, just let me get up. Like Reigns is ready to go, and there's just like Batista just like.
To his credit, Batista, we've obviously made a lot of reference to him tanking, and he did tank really badly in his first couple of months. But in this match, he still played his role really well. He was a little bit better off here. I mean, it is a tag match, so you would expect that, but still, even at WrestleMania, he was in good shape.
He didn't tank nearly as bad as Kane.
No, or he didn't tank nearly as bad as he came into the Royal Rumble. Batista, that was pretty embarrassing.
God, yeah.
So, yeah, in terms of this match, it was brilliant, and the ending, obviously, with Reigns getting the spear, getting the victory. Batista's now going to go off and promote his movie, and I think that's pretty much Evolution done. It was never meant to be a long-term thing, which is a bit shocking considering they debuted new shirts in their interview beforehand.
Yeah, didn't like them.
Nah, not too keen on them. You're not going to be purchasing one in the near future.
Nah, not one of them, no.
I still want to get the Goldust one, personally.
That's it.
Mm.
I'll stick with Goldust.
Yeah, Goldust. That was an awesome shirt. So, yeah, all in all, this was a great match. If you're going to catch one match on this entire show, this is the one I'll tell you with. But that being said, the Daniel Bryan Kane match was a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, there was fire.
Yeah, this was a lot more offensive, and it was not a wrestling match, nor would you expect it to be with an Extreme Rules match, I guess. But with the stipulation, us being aware of the stipulation so late, we thought this was going to be just a generic wrestling match, which didn't seem that much. But this was a brawl, and it was nicely well played out. The spots included no less than forklifts, cars, flaming tables, and chokeslam through announcement tables. So a lot of big spots here throughout the majority of this match. And a lot of moments that you thought these guys legitimately wanted to kill each other. I thought there was bits where I think Kane was throwing stuff at a car, and it was only Daniel Bryan actually dodged out the way just at the right time.
What you mean when he threw the fire extinguisher?
Yeah.
And that just tanked through the glass of it. It's like, oh, jeez.
You think, yeah, I mean, either Bryan timed it to perfection, or that wasn't meant to go off that quickly. But it looks good regardless. It looked like these guys legitimately wanted to kill each other. And when Bryan was attacking Kane, he brought him back out with the forklift, did the jumping headbutt off the forklift. There was a lot of really big spots in this match. And I got a lot more out of this match than I was expecting.
That's it.
So I was pleasantly surprised in that case. It was a lot more extreme than I thought that it were going to go, which is kind of the theme of the show. But how we've been educated Extreme Rules is over the last couple of years. You know, I wasn't expecting this match to have flaming tables. And
it's now no longer Extreme Rules. It's like mildly lax rules.
Yeah. You can get a little bit extreme if you want to, but not too extreme, you know?
No, reel it back. Naughty.
So, Kane got the win. Not Kane, sorry. Daniel Bryan. That would have been a shock if Kane got the win, wouldn't it? Daniel Bryan got the win after throwing Kane onto a flaming table, then giving him the knee and getting the pin.
Mm-hmm.
So a big win for Daniel Bryan. He did not sell his injury pretty much at all, so I think that huge beatdown he got 2 weeks ago was, when looking back on it now, just a bit odd. I mean, a tombstone onto steps and a table. Like I said,
table that didn't give.
Yeah, didn't give. I mean, that would normally be enough to write someone off TV for a couple of months. Yeah, he's back in 2 weeks.
Saying last time, yeah.
And he's in a hellish brawl with Kane, not even selling the injury. So I thought that was a bit odd, considering on SmackDown he still had the brace on.
Yeah, so
a bit odd there, really, for consistency at least. But the match itself was better than I expected it to be, and I can't really say much for it.
It definitely gave.
Yeah, it definitely made Bryan look as if he can brawl with the best of them. So in that case, that they've succeeded along those lines. Yeah, however, the end of the match made it seem as if Kane's not done with Daniel Bryan. I disagree. I think this should be the final match between the two. I don't think you need to have a long program.
That's it. I mean, it's essentially just something to tie over before we get Randy Orton contending as a prisoner. You know, he's got a rematch clause.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, we were told that Randy Orton, once they dealt with the Shield, which they still haven't done, but before they dealt with the Shield, that Randy Orton and Batista would have matches.
That's it.
For the belt. So maybe that's what they go with now. We don't know. We'll see how it goes for.
Nah, it's got to play it. We'll see it.
But Kane, I don't want another Daniel Bryan Kane match. I don't see. I was surprised how good this match was in comparison to how I thought it would be. I don't think they can do that twice. Personally. But
no.
Maybe I've been surprised by Daniel Bryan. He's like I like to call him the Bret Hart of the WWE at the moment. He can have great matches with anyone in the ring. So, you know,
it's definitely turning out that way.
So that is the show in whole, really. What's your thoughts? That's all the matches. What's your thought of Extreme Rules in general, as a pay-per-view in general?
Yeah.
I mean, we were quite critical of the card leading into it, so thinking of that in mind.
I got more than I was expecting out of it.
Same here. I didn't think the show would be
not a lot more.
Yeah, it wasn't a mind-blowing pay-per-view, but it was better than we thought it would be.
That's it. I mean, we were both expecting good things from the Shield and Evolution.
Yeah, that was
that much is a guarantee. And we got more than we expected out of them.
Yeah.
We got more than we expected out of the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, for spots and everything like that, the cage match was a good match. Just maybe not how I'd have done it, but
yeah. I don't think anyone apart from WWE would have booked it that way. In fact, you know, the way looking back on it now, it may have been better if they were going to do it this way than have Wyatt win at WrestleMania and have Cena win this match. But I don't know how they're going to go from there. Obviously, they need Wyatt to have the victory, and it seems that sometimes they book themselves into a corner, which they have done on occasion. I can only remember the whole Ryback thing where they booked him into a corner.
Oh God,
which was unfortunate. But the show, in all fairness, if you're looking at the card and thinking it was the card looks very weak, as me and Matt did, it was better than the card depicts it as. Not a amazing amount better, but it still is better.
Definitely
than the card showed. And the two main events, you can't really say anything else. I mean, Evolution Shield, Daniel Bryan, Kane.
The ordering was really odd.
Yeah,
like the overall booking of the show was just bizarre.
They also did the buffer match between the main event and the Evolution Shield match. No, they did the Cena Wyatt match and then the Divas match.
Yeah, it was Evolution Shield, Cena Wyatt, Divas, and main event. It was just like really odd.
And I think the thing is as well, having Evolution and Shield in the middle of the card, it's really hard for anyone to follow what those guys can do.
Oh God, it's like I messaged you after that match. It's like the 3 worst words. You're up next.
Yeah. Which is true, isn't it? How are you supposed to follow these guys sometimes when they go out there and tear the house down? I'm sure a lot of people have been in that situation, and it's like the Divas at WrestleMania after the Hot Undertaker match. There was nothing they could have done to make the crowd care, and sometimes it's the same with going on after a Shield match. So, which is the reason why they've got a long queue of people wanting to work with them, and I expect the Shield as well to be. I don't see them breaking up for quite a few months now. There was a window where they were going to break up, they decided to hold it off, and I think they're going to be together now. If they're going to break up, it'll be probably towards the end of the year, I'd say, from here.
I'd push for SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's pretty close. SummerSlam's only like 1 or 2 months away. I reckon they've got a few more months in them, personally.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see how it goes from there. So, are we done? I think we've got through this pretty quickly, haven't we?
I think that is it.
Quite shocking. Okay. How did you guys find the show this week? Apologies about that. Let us know in the comments. If you liked the show, if you thought it was, if it exceeded your expectations, did you think it was garbage? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. What was your match of the night? Did you disagree with WWE's booking on some of the matches? I'd love to hear any of your thoughts.
I'd hate to say this, but what was your match of the night? And if you say anything other than Evolution and the Shield, you're wrong.
Matt is quite adamant on that fact. So, but regardless, we'd like to hear what you have to say anyway. If you're new to the podcast or listen to this, why don't you catch our regular show, which we review every segment of Raw, and we also do topics, superstar spotlights, the wrestling news of the week, is the main staple of this channel anyway. We do hope that you do enjoy this Let's Talk More Wrestling, the extra review of Extreme Rules 2014. If you're new as well, why don't you subscribe? That way you won't miss any of these reviews and you won't miss any of the shows on the weekend. And apart from that, guys, thanks a lot for spending the time with us here today. We do hope, regardless of what we thought of the pay-per-view, that you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you over the weekend to review Raw. Adam Rose will be... Adam Rose and I think Bo Dallas will be making their debut.
I don't know about Dallas.
We know definitely that
Rose I think he is coming soon. He'll be here soon.
Yeah. If he's not there next week, he will be there the month after.
I'm still really not into Rose. He got the video, like they both got a video package on the event, and I was like,
maybe he can tag team with Slender Man, as we said, because he's got tag team there with Slender Man.
There is a Slender Man there,
yeah. So that could be quite scary. Raw should be at least a little bit interesting, and a lot of the rivalries leading out of WrestleMania hopefully will kind of get tied up, and we'll see what the general consensus is leading up to SummerSlam, which will be their next big event. They've still got a few pay-per-views before then.
We're going to see the sort of the SummerSlam start to catch up on us.
Yeah, the build up towards that, unless they decide to rush it like they did last week and they had Daniel Bryan as the contender. It was only like a couple of weeks before the show that kind of started up and everything. So, but we'll see how it goes anyway. They're going to build up towards there, or they're just going to do it month by month until SummerSlam, which I don't like the idea. I like them building up. I liked the whole storyline going from SummerSlam to WrestleMania of Daniel Bryan. I like them doing 6-month rotations. That's how I'd like them to do it.
Oh, that's it.
But we'll see how it goes from there. It should be an interesting show. We will be reviewing every segment. I think it's our topic as well, didn't we? Yeah, it is, because we did the Superstar Spotlight last time, so we'll have a topic. If you guys got any questions on what you might want our topic to be, then leave it. We may even pick it, and we may even talk extensively about that. So a lot of ways for you to interact with the show. I think we're out here, Matt. I think we're done.
I think we are just trying to kill time, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for taking the time out and listening to the podcast this week. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you at the weekend.
That's it. We'll catch you Saturday.
Bye-bye.